Hello and welcome to Admit One, your movie and TV podcast right here on Rabbit Hole Media. I am one of your hosts, Jack Nedley Thompson, and as always and as usual, I am joined by my very sleepy friend, Kristian Lasham.
We're not late, you're late.
There were multiple reasons for the being late. Sleepiness, and we were just in the living room having a chat, and then we're like, oh, it's 8:03. Shit.
Just as I was pouring myself out a cup of tea. Whoopsie.
I think we've been called rude for being late, or for referring to.
I think because I referred to them
as late. Yeah, I wasn't late. You were late. Yeah, well, I'll prove it.
Yeah. I think your clocks are all wrong.
Yeah, exactly. So is mine. I mean, it says 8:09. We know that's not true. We know it's 8 on the dot.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's what it says there. They don't know that, but it's what it says there. I know it doesn't, but they don't know it. Do you think my lie's holding up?
Yeah, I think only God can judge you now. Us, I should say. I'm complicit.
Yeah. You are an accessory to this.
We are here today, obviously, to talk about Vin Diesel.
Back of his head, that is.
That is a potato on a mannequin, is what that is. Next to... This is a Fast 6 image.
What? Fuck off, is it?
It's the Plymouth on the bridge.
Oh.
Sorry, I've only just noticed as well. It's fine. No one cares. But yeah.
I spent ages looking for pictures of stuff.
But yeah, that's fast. That's the bridge, and that's the car he jumps out of. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Toom is back. Hello, Toom. Hello, everybody. Anyway, this is Admit One, your movie and TV podcast right here on Rabbit Hole Media. If you like what you're doing is watching us. You can follow us on Twitter at rabbithole_UK. You can subscribe to us on YouTube where you can see us anytime that you wish. You can follow on Twitch on Rabbit Hole Media, and you can subscribe and follow on multiple different podcast services on and around the internet.
Indeed!
Hopefully, Kristian doesn't have something incredibly dirty open on his Mac.
I don't.
Have you done much clearing out of the Mac? This is a bad time to add that. I don't mean of that material.
The answer to your question is no.
Why did that zoom that much after that? Leave it, it's fine.
I just want her face back on. There you go. I apologise.
We are here today, of course, to talk about Vin Diesel.
Oh, it's so
He's in the middle now.
professional.
You would never know. You'd never know that anything happened, that we were late, the image was wrong, and that we changed it live on air. You would never know. No, it was smooth as silk.
Did you do the? Yeah, you did the thing. Fucking hell.
I don't think I finished it.
No, I shouted indeed, and then you made a joke about there being porn on my laptop.
And now you can follow us on Instagram at rabbithole_media_UK and on TikTok at Rabbit Hole Media for all the behind the scenes tits and bits. If you would like to support us, head to merch.rabbitholemedia.co.uk for a wide range of merchandise that will only get wider. And finally, if you're watching us live on Twitch and are an Amazon Prime member, you get one free Twitch Prime membership a month. Please find it within your hearts to give that membership to us. It doesn't cost you a penny, but it goes a very long way in helping us bring you the shows that you love. I don't need that.
I was about to say that we get one, but this happens too often.
Yeah, it's part of the charm.
I agree. I totally agree.
It's part of the charm, or as some particular person that we used to know, oh, so unprofessional.
Yeah, but no one's heard from him in a while, have they?
No, what has happened? I don't know. I removed him from everything, so I don't know.
I mean, that is probably what it is. Yeah. But that's all I'm saying.
Is he dead? Don't know. Might be. I'm obviously not going to say who we're talking about, but it's fine. It's fine. Fast Furious 7. Even the Blu-ray doesn't know what it wants to be called.
All right.
Because obviously, the back end naming of it all, when you put the disc in, so on the PlayStation, comes up as Furious 7.
Right.
But the title card of the movie is Fast and Furious 7. Yeah.
I didn't see what it came up with on my PlayStation on the disc.
I imagine it would be Furious 7.
You'd assume so. You would assume so.
But anyway, Fast and Furious 7, the 7th one, as it's often referred to as well. What are your general thoughts of this movie?
This was a tough watch for me.
Really?
Not, I didn't say it was bad. I said it was a tough watch. Because a whole way through was just like, this one's sad.
This one is sad.
This one's a sad one. And I was like, that's him. That's not him. That's him. That's not him. That's not him. That's it. No, that's not him. That's how I spent my entire...
It is pretty obvious when it's not him.
It's very obvious.
It's 7 years old.
Yes. Also, there are some points... I think there are some points...
Technology isn't quite there even now, so 7 years ago.
There are some points where I think they deal with it in quite creative, impressive ways. Impressive may be a strong word, but effective. Creative and effective ways. But no, this film was a hard watch for me for that reason, because it's just like...
Imagine watching this in the cinema.
Oh, I know. Especially if it was like, when it's recent and like if you were like...
This was a tough time.
I'm only just
in the cinema.
this is my first time getting into this franchise. And I've got to know this man over the course of 7 weeks. It's pretty recent for me. Well, no, it's pretty like quick. Whereas, some of you guys had it hard. I get it. I get it.
Yeah, it was tough.
No, I get it.
It was not fun. It was not fun. I remember like finding out that it actually happened. I was like,
I remember it happening. I completely remember it happening. And actually, I did some reading into it the other day, and like, fucking hell, it's horrific. I won't get into it on here because there was some horrific stuff.
Oh yeah. Like I'm assuming you saw pictures of his car.
I'd seen that anyway. It was more.
Oh my.
The one thing was I saw a thing that the autopsy report showed that he had soot on his lungs, which implies that he was breathing, which is just horrific.
Yes.
Horrific. So there you go. But that did make it a much tougher watch for me. And then I was like, I always read through like the IMDb trivia things on these films, and I'd seen one as well that I can't remember her name, but the actress that plays Mia, because of her scheduling conflicts, she wasn't shooting any of her parts until the end of shooting, which means she didn't shoot any of her scenes with Paul Walker. Which
That's not true.
That's what the IMDb thing said that I read.
There are scenes that are definitely him with her.
See, now the thing I read was that it was then using deleted scenes from other films, which they cut together, and rotoscoping him out of other shots, is what I read.
The scene where they're in the big... It's Fast 6.
Yeah, so suppose, like, at least in the thing I read, that everything that was done between those two on this had to be doubles.
Oh, she was hardly in this at all, was she?
She's hardly in this.
Yeah, okay, that's where I'm getting confused.
But still, like, that's also just kind of, that's sad.
Yep.
I don't have any of these moments together. This is real sad. But overall, as a film, just another good Fast and Furious film for me. Like, some good action scenes, some fun stuff. There was some crazy, like, again, getting crazier and crazier, which we knew it would be. I knew that was going to be the case. I do think this was lacking compared to the previous two, personally.
Really? Oh.
But I think that's...
The end of the show will be interesting.
But I think that's more because of the whole Paul Walker situation. I'm just ignoring that.
Yeah, because I can't say for...
Because of the Paul Walker situation, certain elements of the film were kind of, I think, lacking, because obviously it couldn't be Paul Walker and couldn't be done how they wanted to do, and obviously you could tell where like certain things had to be rewritten accordingly. I actually think it kind of suffered from The Rock not being in it as much as well, because I think he was much better in the previous film, and his chemistry with everyone I think was very good. So him being in it for such a minimal amount of time, I think it suffered from. I also think that last week's villain was still the most interesting villain we've had.
Oh, really?
Like Jason Statham's villain, I don't think he was particularly interesting.
He wasn't interesting.
He was just a brute.
Yeah.
He was just a big scary brute. But I actually found Luke Evans a much more interesting character. I can't remember his bloody name. Whatever it is, Shaw. Owen Shaw. Thank you. So for those reasons, I don't think it was quite as good as last week's, but I did enjoy the film thoroughly.
That's fair. That's fair enough. All completely fair enough. Yeah, I love this one. This was a difficult time in 2015 when it came out, and it was just sobs all around in the cinema, because, you know me, I was there opening night in IMAX, because I have no commitments or loved ones, so I just go and do what I want. I am a nomad. Huh?
I'm here.
Yeah, but you never come with me opening night in IMAX.
That's not true.
I know it's not. Well, where were you in 2015?
I don't know if we knew each other in 2015.
We did not. It would be like 2 years beforehand. But hey, known you since before Fast 8 even came out.
Well, no, we would have known each other before 2018.
No, that's what I'm saying. We've known each other since before
I see what
Fast
you
8
mean. Sorry, I see
came
what you
out.
mean.
And now there's
Yeah,
been
yeah.
2.
I see what you mean.
Another 2 with 2 more to go. And it really bothers me they're ending on 11.
Is there 2 more to go?
Yeah.
I thought they were ending on 10.
No, they're doing a final part,
Right.
which is a 2-parter.
I see. Because I was
Same
when I
with
was
Mission Impossible. The last 2 are the last 2, by the way.
when I was reading over the
The next 2 are the
when I was reading over the Paul Walker stuff, I'd seen a thing saying that they had announced up until 10 before he had died. So I just assumed that they were going to end it on 10. Because I'd also then read the thing about Vin Diesel saying that he thinks The Rock should come back for the big finale of Fast 10, and trying to get The Rock to come back for the big finale. So I just assumed that 10 was the last one.
Yes. Hannah, I wasn't saying this is before Fast 8 came out. I was saying I met Chris before Fast 8 came out, is what I was saying. Obviously, this came out before Fast 8. Well, to be fair, with this franchise, I wouldn't be fucking surprised if 11 is the next one.
The first Star Wars film was the 4th one.
But that was just called Star Wars at the time, wasn't it? It wasn't
Still-
called Episode 4. It wasn't even called A New Hope at the time,
Yeah,
I
but
believe.
no one knows what the fuck these are called.
That's true. It's true. Have you seen the internet meme of they want Fast 10
Fast
to be
10,
Fast 10
your
your
seatbelt.
seatbelts?
Yeah, no, I'm on board with that name.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
I can't think of a pun for an 11.
No, but Fast 10 your seatbelts is like top tier. I'd be annoyed if they don't use that.
Yeah, so
'cause
would I.
That's too good.
But they're not going to, obviously. Fast and Furious 3 was really number 7. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Or 6.5, really. I did enjoy this. I really like this movie. Spoilers.
Right, is that your general thoughts that you really like this movie?
Yeah.
Alright.
I'm going to, because my general thoughts are going to get too specific. So they're not really general.
I understand.
I did enjoy the scene where they tied it into Vin Diesel going to Tokyo, and then Lucas Black aged
Yeah, like within a shot.
with naught to shot. Naught to shot. Sorry, I read that comment. From like, not today. Like I said, he knew Han, and then that must have been an intense race because he aged like 15 years, 9 years, but that's besides the point.
But to be fair, like, when they started doing that, I was like, oh, please don't tell me this guy's back. He's so annoying. And then when it cut to it, it was like him again. It was clearly newly shot stuff. Whereas I was like, oh my God, they've brought this guy back. And I don't like that character. I found him so annoying in that film. I was like, oh no. Thankfully, it was just for a brief moment to go, we found this by the crash.
Drift. What do you mean, drift? My favourite line out of the entire franchise, I think. Drift. What do you mean, drift?
Yes, no, I'm glad that that didn't stick. He didn't stick around. I wasn't a fan of him.
I can't remember his name. I called him Lucas Black. That's the actor's name. What's the character's name?
Drift.
Mr. Drift. Sean? Is it Sean?
Sean it might be.
Sean!
Throwback to previous episodes.
As we'd spoken about how old and haggard he was in Tokyo Drift, I didn't even realise they didn't use the old footage. No, that was newly shot stuff. You could tell because Vin Diesel's aged very well.
Yeah.
Like, Vin Diesel hasn't aged well. Like, he doesn't look bad. But I don't know why, but there seems to be a thing with some actors where their head just gets wider. Did you notice at the end when they were doing, they did the montage and they showed shots of,
yeah.
like, the first movie.
Paul Walker looked very different in the earlier film.
Well, yes, he looked younger, yes.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he drastically looked different.
Yeah, with the longer curly hair and sort of
Was
the...
much slimmer. Like, obviously that makes sense. But you know what I mean.
Yeah, but Vin Diesel's head was just like really narrow comparatively to what it is now. And it looks weird. Young Vin Diesel doesn't look right. I mean, old Vin Diesel doesn't look right either.
As you said, it's a potato of a man.
Potato of a man who always talks like this. Without the Cockney accent.
I was thinking of this. I was like, imagine having a voice that deep.
We invented it.
Even close.
It wasn't meant to be. I can't go that low.
No, not many people can.
Imagine that. Yeah, imagine having a voice that deep. If he could sing, he'd be a It'd be bass for sure.
He does sing in The Pacifier.
Oh, he does, doesn't he? Very different movie.
Yes.
Where he's a babysitter.
Yeah.
And there's Nazis.
There is Nazis.
Not real Nazis. They're doing they're doing the
Sound of Music.
Sound of Music. Yeah. Those have just got Nazis showing up out of nowhere. I swear loads of fiction just has... I wouldn't be surprised if like Fast 11 is like Vin Diesel versus Hitler. I wouldn't be shocked. There's some form of like mech involved, and it's made by Dodge, so it's okay. I wouldn't be surprised. A lot happens in this movie. It's carnage and it's chaos, like our Discord. This film properly shows how out of order films are actually made.
Yeah.
And how I could never actually do it because my brain can't keep up with that. Doing things out, like I could never...
It's the main reason why we haven't finished Spider-Man yet.
Time, is that? Is the actual reason.
This is true. Tuesday.
Indeed. There is gas here. Well, yeah, they're my lungs. Sorry, but you know what I mean. There is a burp brewing. It's the first set piece of the movie, really. The first proper set piece.
Oh, the opening sequence I thought was fucking excellent. The very opening title sequence, which is Vin Diesel blowing up the hospital. Not Vin Diesel. Jason Statham. He
took a turn!
The other bald man.
Yeah, the British potato.
Yes, Jason Statham blowing up the hospital.
Turn it on.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Like, just... This film's had some, like, good moments of cinematography here. Like, sorry, this franchise here and there. It's had a few good shots and stuff like that. This one took the cinematography up a level.
With that
throughout the
one
entire
shot.
movie. So there's that one shot sequence from the beginning of him walking through the hospital with the dynamic text was like it wasn't like part of the scenery or anything, but it was built into the animations of what was going on.
It fit to the architecture of the building, but it wasn't trying
and it was
to be
sort of like 3D as well. It'd be a little bit behind Jason Statham, but you know, so it wasn't quite in the foreground of everything. It wasn't just plastered on top of it. It was within the imagery and within the 3D space. It was really, really nice. All the way through him walking out of the hospital, all the stuff going on, to getting out, to getting in the car, to driving away, to the thing falling, like really, really good. Really like that opening sequence. And then in all the race sequences, like this has been a Fast and Furious staple from the first film, but them doing the kind of like just outside the window shots with the camera moving around, and then they change gear and you cut to a quick close-up shot of it changing gear. All of those shots were taken up another level as well, but they were taken up to being so much more interesting, of like seeing more in terms of like, right, clutch control, this here, you can see exactly what gear they're changing into, and it felt like a better set of cuts as well. Like the cuts had like a beat and a rhythm to it, like you more would do when you were driving, whereas in the other films, just boom, suddenly they're in fourth, boom, suddenly they're in third. And,
although a lot of them, obviously not, it would just be a different type of gearbox, because obviously certain cars just have the ones where you just move it up. You literally just move it up, down, down. A sequential gearbox, I think that is. But it always looked like it's an automatic.
Yes.
That they're just like suddenly throwing into park or something for no reason. Just... and... but yeah, I agree. They did.
Yeah, across the board, I think the cinematography was so much better. They did some really good stuff with the fight sequences as well. Like the hand-to-hand fight sequences were really like
this was Paul Walker's best stuff, action-wise.
Oh, the sequence of him on like the bus.
Yeah.
I presume most of that was when Paul Walker was filming.
Yeah,
obviously, I know
it
that there
was.
Stunt doubles and stuff as well. But that action scene, I'm so glad he got that. As like kind of like his final outing, if you will.
Yeah, him and all the stuff in the city at the end, I believe, was actually him. Obviously, the Dubai stuff wasn't.
Yeah, well, the big one is the one where he's going through the warehouse building at the end, which is clearly not him because it's all shot in such a clever way.
Well, yeah.
But again, more examples of really good cinematography, because it's all shot so you never see him close up. And every shot that is of him close up is always just like off his hands or his feet. You never really see his face properly, which meant they were able to do a really good set of choreographed fight sequence and action sequence, film it in a slightly more interesting way than what we'd normally see as well. So the sequence felt unique because it was filmed differently. And you could, knowing the situation, you could tell it's not him. I think if you didn't know, not that anyone does, but I think if you didn't know the situation, you wouldn't think anything was done there to hide anything. You'd just think that was a creative way of shooting that. I think it worked really well. But the bus sequence, I'm so glad he got that, because it was awesome. It was really, really good.
Yeah, it was really cool. That entire thing. I did enjoy the scene beforehand with them coming up with the plan. Roman, more specifically.
Roman was really good in this again.
And then him kind of having his plan taken away from him a little bit into something he didn't want to do at all. And then the cut into the skydiving. Well, I don't know what the fuck you would call it. The car skydiving section. That was very cool.
Fucking funny. That really made me laugh. That whole thing with Roman and with them putting out the car.
The line that gets me every time, it gives me a good, proper, like, hearty little chuckle, and I giggle for a few, like a proper giggle. Is oh no, the trees! I don't know why. It just gets me every time. It's just, no, the trees! This entire movie is filled with hit and miss comedy lines. Like, that whole sequence... Roman in the plane, falling, LiDAR, hilarious, and then Ludacris like, can't touch this, Shut the fuck up. Get out of the way.
I don't even remember that joke. That's how much that didn't hit.
Yeah. I guess I probably only remember it because I've seen this film 90 times, but it's when they start shooting out the back and he gets in the way and he's just like, bulletproof.
Oh, yeah, no, I do remember.
Can't touch this. That was really loud. Ow. Actually... pop my ear.
Oh, fuck me.
If I start bleeding out the side of my face, it's fine. Oh, no. Oh, dear. Well, resume as normal. Just get tissue. I can't bleed on the yellow.
Hannah just said that Elena had an Irish accent, and with her haircut, I genuinely thought she was a different person. I did that at first. Who the fuck is that? Oh, it's Elena.
It's not a different person.
Talking of fights, I was saying the fight sequence being good. The hand-to-hand fight sequence with Statham and Vin Diesel at the parking garage, I thought was really good as well. Shot really well.
Another one of the worst lines in this scene, though. The thing about street fights, the street always wins. Fuck off.
There's a lot of bad lines in this.
When have you ever had a fight in a street and then the ground comes up?
The annoying thing...
Also, that was a missile, not the street.
The annoying thing, in that same fight, there was a good line of him like, what, you thought this was going to be a street fight?
You were right, or whatever it was, yeah.
That's good, that's fine. This is a good line. I'm okay with this. Yeah.
The thing about street fights... Shut the fuck up.
But they do like the big jump hit towards each other, was really cool. And I like that we got a good fight sequence with The Rock, with Jason Statham, because again, one of my compliments on The Rock the other week was The Rock is a good fighter, because that was his job. That's his thing. He's a stage fighter, always has been. So seeing him in fight sequences is really cool. This one though amused me. So as it started, obviously he's against Statham, who's also another good stage fighter and is another good action star.
Hannah has said, I firmly believe Statham would have Diesel in a fight. Agreed. Do you know Statham was a diver?
I don't know.
That was his. That was what he was before. He's also done like martial arts and stuff. He is very well trained to do on-screen fighting.
This is my point. Between him and The Rock together, that's a good thing to watch because they're both very, very good stage fighters. But there was something about the way this stage fight with the two of them going. I predicted this. I was like, we're about to get The Rock's finishing move.
The rock bottom?
Yeah. I could see it coming because he was like fighting... This sounds stupid. He was fighting like The Rock. Mm-hmm. He wasn't fighting like Dwayne Johnson playing a character. He was fighting like The Rock. So I was just like, we're about to get it. And then like the next thing was he did the rock bottom through the table. And me as an old WWE fan, I was like, yeah!
That shot was cool as well, the way it spun.
Yep.
Tilted with the fall. Yeah.
I mean, in a lot of, like, they normally do this with WWE stars and wrestling stars. They get their finishing moves in somewhere. And The Rock's had it in a few films where he gets his finishing move in. But
it's also just, if you can pull it off, reasonably effective.
Yes.
In a fight.
I imagine it would be.
If you can pick someone up and slam them the fuck down, I assume that would do you in a bit.
Especially if it's through a table.
Through a glass table, yeah that would probably... Well, actually, no, I imagine a wooden table would probably hurt more.
We do then immediately get to the first moment of dead.
Oh, him falling out the window.
Just blown out of a building.
And falling 96 stories
yes, into a car. Dead. You're both dead.
At least they hospitalised him.
Yeah, but she was fine.
She's more likely to be fine.
She wouldn't have been.
I'm not saying she would have been. I'm just
Dead.
saying she's more likely to be fine.
Like-
She wasn't landing on a car. She was landing on him.
Yes, but he's quite hard. He's The Rock. Like, he's solid. He is a solid bit of meat.
He's
That's
still
all I'm-
squishier than a car.
He's solid enough that he would break you if you landed on him.
Maybe.
He could blow on you and I'd break in half.
She didn't. It's weird though. The impact wouldn't have been as hard because she was already on him.
Both dead. Both fucked.
I agree. I agree. They are both deceased at this point in time. But
Also, they said that he was in with like broken ribs and a broken arm or whatever.
probably her. As in, he would have. If this was a normal Fast and Furious movie, he would have walked that off. But it's the fact that she just went,
For sure. But more, that it did get to him being healed very quickly at the end.
"Oh yeah,
Because I've already made the
He's
joke.
The
'cause
Rock.
I text Jack that The Rock saying
Daddy's got to go." Well,
Yeah,
you
The
said
Rock
him
flexing
flexing
his
his way
arm.
out of a cast. Yeah.
was fucking, and I like properly laughed, like properly out loud laughed for a good while before I text you as well. Like, it really fucking made me laugh because it was just like really, like, he could have at least like grabbed it and ripped, but no, he just went for flex, shatter. Ugh.
Feasible.
It's not.
It's just plaster.
It's not. It's not gonna go.
It's just plaster. I reckon he could do it.
Nah.
I reckon he could do it.
He could
Well, he
qu-
clearly did it.
I reckon
I know
it-
it's not a real cast, but
That was CGI to fuck.
nah, it would have
Yeah.
been something on his arm.
Probably a blue cloth. But then they see.
There would have been something on his. There would have been a movie cast. They probably touched it up with
Yeah,
CGI.
yeah, yeah.
That's what they do these days, other than Star Wars,
Everything
which is
gets
why
touched up
Star
with
Wars
CGI.
looks. Other than Star Wars, which is why Star Wars looks so rubbish by comparison these days. But he would have been wearing some form of
I'm
really
sure.
thin.
I buy that.
cast.
I buy that he has the strength to crack the cast. I buy that. It's shattering and falling off his arm. Don't know it. Those things are like wrapped and wrapped and wrapped and wrapped and wrapped and wrapped with layers and layers and layers and layers of mod rock. That wasn't just going to shatter.
They're really not. Yeah, they're not that hard.
That was
Have you ever broken your arm?
yes. I had, to be fair, I had a fiberglass cast, which I imagine is harder than a normal
Yeah.
plaster cast one.
But I've had casts on that I managed to take off.
You're not supposed to be able to do that.
No, but see, here is a sign of why it's a miracle I'm alive. So, you know that feeling you get in a joint when it really needs to.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm so glad that worked. That would have been really stupid if it hadn't worked. But I had that in my wrist,
Right.
incidentally, which is what I had broken. So I managed to get the cast off, and I just went crack,
Fucking idiot.
and I put it back on.
I exposed my broken arm, re-broke it, put the cast on.
I didn't re-break it. It was absolutely fine. Didn't hurt. Felt glorious, and I continued about my day. What did work is because it was my left hand. I'm left-handed.
Yeah.
I tripped up the stairs and did that, and it just went pum, and I went no,
Is that how you broke it?
no,
Oh, wait.
no. That was while it was in a car.
Oh, I see.
No, how I broke it was I was running backwards and got tripped over by a dog. And then put my arms out and broke my wrist.
Yeah. No, I broke
I
my
broke this arm by falling off a stationary skateboard as well. I would
Good.
like to, it was stationary until suddenly it wasn't. And then,
because they got wheels.
yes.
Move.
Yes. It just fell behind me and I just went, oof.
Do you know what else have wheels?
Bicycles, cars,
Yes.
wheelbarrows.
Cars. And funny enough, we're doing a film about cars.
Brum brum, motherfucker.
So yes, I enjoyed all the stuff with the. I think they really stepped up the cinematography and all those fight sequences and stuff like that, and that I enjoyed that part of it greatly.
Do you know who isn't a great stage fighter and needs to, thankfully it has stopped, but needs to, just in general. See, they pick a lot of wrestlers become actors.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
And usually it pans out well.
Mm-hmm.
That is their job, always has been. They are actors, they
Yes.
are performers.
Doing stage fighting.
Doing stage fight, wrestling, it's not a real fight.
No, yeah.
It's a staged fight. There are obviously real fights. There are risks involved.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
get injured.
There is also in filming Fast and Furious.
Yes. Any stunt work. But that's what it is. It's a stunt performance.
Yeah.
That's what wrestling is. UFC isn't. UFC is actually fighting. So stop putting UFC fighters in fucking movies. They're awful. And they think they're really cool.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Ronda Rousey is the bottom of the list of cool people
Absolutely.
in this movie. We have Jason Statham, Vin Diesel, Dwayne Johnson, Michelle Rodriguez, Paul Walker. The rest aren't particularly cool.
They're cooler than Ronda Rousey.
So am I. That's a statement of the
No,
day.
I think you know.
Oh, thanks. But yeah, it was awful. And do you know Iggy Azalea was in the movie as well?
I forgot she even existed.
Yeah,
She
so
came
did I.
on and I was like, oh yeah, fuck, she existed for a while, didn't
Yeah,
she?
yeah.
Like, obviously Rita Ora was in the last one or whatever,
But she wasn't.
but she wasn't. And also, she's not very good in WWE either because she doesn't know how to pull her punches.
Really? What, so she does... It's
She
really
just-
obviously pulled, or
Yeah,
she
like-
keeps absolutely cracking
No, like
people?
she just doesn't like. It was the same in this. So she doesn't like stage fighting. Doesn't look effective from her because she's not.
No,
a
she doesn't
stage
know how to
fighter.
do it.
So
A
it's-
normal punch doesn't look good on camera.
Exactly, and
You've
it's
got
just-
to really exaggerate it. And
It's the same thing in WWE. She doesn't. She's not a good WWE star because she's doesn't. It's not her fighting style. It just doesn't
she
really work.
wasn't in 2015.
Yeah.
So therefore, she was a UFC fighter that they hired. Which is why UFC movies don't look like UFC. Just want to point that out. Stage fighting doesn't look...
I've never got the Ronda Rousey thing either. Like I know she was like a very well decorated UFC fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Fine, all respect her from that. But she's gone on to do so many different things. Obviously, is now. I kind of think like her moving into WWE is kind of like a bit of a really. Like you were a big time
It is an
UFC
odd-
champion. Now you're doing what is genuinely fake wrestling. Like fake, it's fake fighting. No one's pretending it's not. Neither do WWE.
They used to.
I know they used to, but they absolutely don't now.
No.
So it's like I don't understand why you've made that move. That's really bizarre to go from like there's been many that have gone the other way around. Too much bored. Is there going to be a press start stream today? No, that's Saturdays. Only Saturdays. So it'll be this Saturday. Well, it won't be this. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Stick around to find out when. Hey. That's how I get you to the views. Like there's been WWE stars that have gone into actual stuff. Like Kurt Angle, he went into UFC and other stuff, and there has been like.
You mean gone the other way?
They've gone the other way.
This seems like a downgrade, is what you're saying.
it just seems weird. It's a strange move.
It is a weird move. I do grant, but maybe it paid more.
Probably did.
Mm.
I imagine there's a lot more money in WWE than there is in UFC. And
I don't know.
you are less likely to get your face kicked in.
That is true. There's
Because
definitely
you don't have
that.
to cut your forehead open with razor blades anymore either. They've stopped doing
UFC
that.
people get a lot. I know some wrestlers do get a lot of fucking money.
Oh yeah.
But I think there's probably a higher percentage of
They're
UFC
prob-
people
yeah.
that get paid more. And given Ronda Rousey, I know the names of 2 UFC fighters. That's Ronda Rousey and Conor McGregor.
Yes.
So I imagine those were the people who were on the big fucking bucks.
Yeah.
So like,
But what's her face? The woman from the other week in the other film we watched that's a problem.
she was UFC as well, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought she was UFC as well.
Weirdly enough, she was better at acting.
Better.
Not good.
I'm not exactly missing that she's not around anymore.
No. Gina
That's
Carano.
it, Gina
yeah.
Carano. Again, I did what you want to do, and I wanted to call her Giancarlo Esposito, which is not.
Yeah,
Right.
last week when we were talking about this was pre-stream, I think
Yeah.
I referred to her as Giancarlo Esposito. I missed that. There's a bloke called Kurt who was in Entourage. Kurt Russell's in this movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's who you're referring to.
I also mentioned Kurt Angle earlier.
Oh, I see. Probably him. That seems more relevant to the conversation. Even though Kurt Russell should be more relevant to the conversation.
Yeah, he was in it. I forgot he was in it.
Yeah. We haven't mentioned
I only watched
any
it
of that
yesterday.
side of
No.
it yet.
We haven't mentioned a lot of it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's true. So the whole super secret spy world got introduced in this movie.
I was fine with that.
Yeah, me too.
Fine with
Honestly.
that. Because again, like my biggest my favorite things about these films have been the ones where they've been pushing in on having this kind of like undercover cop thing, all this kind of stuff. So just pushing this secret spy world into it. Fine, yeah. Fine by me. No problem. Happy
Mr.
with
Nobody.
this. Yeah. All
So
okay.
I brought my own health insurance. I was like, well, that doesn't matter if we don't get you to the hospital. That's a weird line to have to the people who are trying to get you to a hospital to save your life. You could just say, no, it's fine, a helicopter's coming. But they just didn't. They just left him on the side of the road. I loved it.
Seemingly,
Yeah, I know that he was being escorted away by his super secret spy doctors. I kind of wanted one to Ethan Hunt down and just grab him and go back up again. But that didn't happen, unfortunately. But he was cool. I liked Kurt Russell in this. He has a lot of energy.
He had a cool thing where he was like, right, I'm going to shoot some people now. Bang, 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 bang.
Yep, that was fucking cool. He acted out the most obvious product placement I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, with the
Not
Corona
only
stuff.
did he have a load of Corona, which is fine, but because, as he said, your file is detailed and we know you like Corona, but it was in a Corona Extra Ice bucket.
Yep.
All laid out perfectly in that weird circle they do in the
I
adverts.
appreciated it. It was fun by me.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
Like, all the varieties of it. Like, if you go to an actual barbecue or whatever, the variety of beer will be quite substantial unless somebody has provided all the beer and has just bought like a 90 pack of Budweiser or something. It'll be quite substantial if you go to a normal gathering, people bringing their own drinks and what have you. This was just different varieties of Corona in the last movie. This was just, I'll give you a whole keg of Corona, which these days means something very different. Is that a threat, sir?
As of Thursday, arguably, no.
Why Thursday? What's happening on Thursday?
Have you not seen this?
No.
As of Thursday, all the restrictions are gone.
Oh, yeah, it's March on Thursday, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
No.
That's Tuesday.
That is Tuesday. But as of Thursday, all the restrictions are.
I thought they already had.
No, all of them. You don't even have to isolate if you have COVID as of Thursday.
Oh, I see.
You can't get free tests anymore. Like, literally just gone. We're all back to normal here, apparently.
To be honest, it's probably the way it should be.
I agree, but we'll get into this another time.
Cool dudes. So that's Kurt Russell in the super secret spy world. We also have Ramsey in this new
Ramsey, yes.
arguably involved in what I would call not perpetrating, but a victim of one of the most problematic scenes in the franchise, I think, so far.
Which one? There were many where they were just ogling her.
I'd say the biggest one would be where she was just emerging from the sea
beach,
in
yeah.
Dubai, and they're just standing there like saying some unacceptable things that can be said.
I agree.
It's like, yes, well done. You've noticed she's an attractive human being. Put it away. Good Lord. They were just like, Also, Roman says it's hotter than I thought. Just so he could get away with a joke of Ludacris being like, what's his name? Tej being like, yes, it's Dubai, it's going to be hot. I was like, I'm not talking about the weather. I don't know why all of these people are Cockney in my head. But
See any accent you can do other than Scottish?
But yes, it was a bit of a problem.
No, I agree.
Thankfully, my Blu-ray agreed as well, because this is where it went a bit funny for about a minute and then just skipped it.
Okay. No, I had a problem with not her specifically, but obviously, so she has programmed this incredible man-hunting AI, right? Mm-hmm. That has the ability
Very
to
illegal, yeah.
scan. And I was like, well, she's an illegal hacker, I suppose. This is fine.
Yeah.
But I'm more like, think about what this thing does. She has developed this like manhunt AI, which is able to scan every single camera, mobile device, hearing device, whatever, within a vicinity, recognize your face, your voice, everything about you, and track you instantly, wherever you are. Now, if I had invented that, the first thing I would do is program it to not recognize myself. That'd be the very first thing I do. I have just invented the ultimate manhunting technology. If this gets into the wrong hands, anyone other than mine, people can just hunt me. So, rule 1, ignore me. Do not scan for me. Me is good. Like, whatever I need to do, like, terrible. She deserved to be traced and seen.
I never thought about that. Never thought about that at all.
It's my only plot issue. Like, I buy it as a story point still, because she's just too dumb. She didn't think of it.
She's so dumb that she invented this.
Yeah. But, all these big tech conglomerates always have these kind of things where they make something really genius, but they always miss one obvious little, well, you should have done that, shouldn't you? Mm-hmm. So it's buyable. I buy that she fucked up. I just feel like no one's talking about it.
No, that's fair enough. I definitely hadn't occurred to me, so I would have been hunted. Absolutely, probably because you can see me from space as well. You don't need God's eyes, but he's there. I don't know what I'm doing. Why am I up? I work with a child. A child, I say.
Hey, a child that managed to work out. That's hot. Why
is it on?
Because I work from in this room and it gets cold.
Oh, that's not an excuse.
No, this is my office.
Why is it not off again?
Because I haven't turned it off.
I was wondering why I was dying.
Age.
True, but also being cooked like a turkey on Christmas. And if you're kidnapped, they wouldn't be able to use God's eye to find you. Yeah,
but you wouldn't have been kidnapped because they couldn't find you in the first place.
People still kidnap.
Nah, doesn't happen.
God's eye doesn't exist. Maybe it was just a random person in a shop.
Perhaps.
And you just grab this person willy-nilly. Don't grab them by the willy-nilly.
Also, you could put like a password on it or something.
Yes, all right, but then this movie would have been very short.
Not necessarily. We could have gone all the way to the end for him to go, shit, what's the password?
That's just the end of the movie. We have no password. We're no longer a threat. Fuck. Flies away.
I will try some, and then it's like, I'm locked out for 10 minutes.
No! iPhone disabled!
And then there could be a post-credit scene of there's a week later, and it's like, we got another try. Oh, shit.
And that's what Fast 8 is.
Just I'm still like...
It's like 7 years later and someone's like, we got it! And the world's moved on.
And there's just update required.
For fuck's sake. And as Toom says, with two-factor authentication.
She gets a
Ramsey
text.
just gets a text decline. No! We shouldn't make films.
I disagree. I think that'd be fucking hilarious.
That is true. That is true. But speaking of God's Eye, what did you think of Jiman Hansu? He was alright, wasn't he? He was in it.
Who?
You didn't get it from connotation of me saying, speaking of those guys, what did you think of Jiman Hansu? The leader of the other people.
Oh, that guy! I'm not good with names.
The guy in Captain Marvel.
I'm not
Guardians
good
of
with
the
names.
Galaxy.
Yeah, he was in it. Didn't do very much.
No, he doesn't.
He's not in it very much.
He shouts a lot.
Does shout a lot, yeah.
Because he's not very good at his job, clearly. He's like, she's taken over the God's Eye. What? It was a very me what. I liked it. But that's it. That's all he does.
They did the whole switch under a bridge and show us later thing again.
They did.
To the point where I'd worked out that's what they were doing. Because they showed you go under the bridge and then their car get killed.
Well, yeah. So
car get killed. But they didn't focus on the fact that the car got blown up, which had 3 main characters in it. So I was like, well, they're clearly just out under the bridge, aren't they? They've done a swap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was obvious.
I don't think they were trying to hide it that much that time.
For sure.
Because they're hardly going to go, we're in the climax of the movie. Here's all of your cast. Bang. Credits. Dubai. We
the flying car.
We touched upon the fact
Cars don't fly, Dom.
Cars don't fly.
Cars don't fly, Dom.
Cars don't fly. But that was pretty cool. The jumping from tower
It's
to tower.
fucking nonsense, but yeah, it was pretty cool.
Of course it was nonsense. So skydiving cars. Parachutes that size would make
agree.
zero difference on the weight of cars.
I agree.
The whole thing's nonsense. There was a drone chasing a GTR.
Yeah.
Struggling to keep up with a Nissan. Granted, it's the fastest accelerating road car, or it was for a very long time in the world, but it's still a Nissan. This is a drone. It can just go. Whoosh.
Maybe the drone was made by Nissan.
They did the thing for the first movie as well, driving under the truck.
Yes. Yeah, because they even said, I'm gonna go back to old school.
Old school, yeah.
Yeah, I appreciated that.
Yeah, that was cool. They can when it's for family. Yeah, fair enough. I'm doing a Kristian. I've got some weird nonsense brewing.
This is what happens to me, yeah. Hannah's just said, considering he kept insisting cars don't fly, there was a lot of cars flying. Good point.
Yeah, there was. Maybe that was part of the joke.
It was a cool sequence. But yeah, it was like...
Yeah, it was utter nonsense.
Oh, we're getting real extreme here.
The brakes have gone all of a sudden.
Yeah. Which meant he couldn't do anything to slow the car down.
Yeah, stop driving.
Brakes are gone, which means all I get is constant acceleration.
It wasn't accelerating, to be fair. He then accelerated
did accelerate, jump out
afterwards.
of the thing,
It was just continuing at speed. It just wasn't slowing down. I was like, stop using your feet and it will slow down.
Yes.
And also just turn.
Just turn into something.
Yeah, like you'll stop. You'll slow down. Don't know if you've noticed, but if you lift your foot off the pedal, you do slow down quite quickly. Not as quick as if you used a brake, and you probably would have fallen out the other end, but that's why you turn.
Yeah.
Further into the building, so that if you do crash, you go into the building as opposed to out of a window 90 stories off the ground. But no, fuck it, accelerate. We're going for the next tower.
I did enjoy it. There was the bit afterwards where I think it was Roman like, I know we're going to be like jumping across 2 buildings, and he's like, actually it was 3 buildings.
Oh yeah, that was the guy in Dubai.
Oh yeah,
he was like, I got you into this party, and then he was just like, oh yes, 2 insult, 3 honor. Sorry. I did enjoy that handbrake. That would have been that car. This is brain. That car would have had an electric handbrake. Would have done absolutely fucking nothing because you were driving. Doesn't let you put it on if you're driving. If you're moving, I should say. I have an electric handbrake, and it's fucking annoying sometimes.
How do you do handbrake turns?
My car is also front-wheel drive, so the answer is I don't. But you can't. In electric cars, you can't.
I mean,
you would have to know how to drift properly.
I've never done a handbrake turn. What did I tell you about the time that Andy Caffin did an handbrake turn?
No. Why did he do that?
He had this little Mazda MX-5 thing. That's like his dream car, and he's had like 4 of them, and they're always old and shit, right?
That's because they are.
Well, they are just old and shit. Yeah, I know. We were going to play foot golf at Tilgate Golf Course, right?
He didn't drift into the ball, did he?
No, he drifted into the car park and handbrake turned into the car park. Like I had driven Matt, Dom, and someone else up. I can't remember what it was, and then Andy was meeting us there along with someone else. He came in like an idiot. Handbrake turned in just to show off, right? And we were always like, "You're a fucking idiot. You're a complete and utter fucking idiot." And there was a bunch of like people like really smartly dressed, because this is at a golf course, this foot golf thing. A bunch of people really smartly dressed watching us, tutting. And as we got further in, we found out these people were at a wake.
That's a golf course.
At a golf course. I know, it was a weird place where it was just like, oh, Andy. Only you.
Would drift into a wake.
But fair play to him for putting off the handbrake turn. It was quite good.
It's because it's not particularly difficult. You use the handbrake and you turn.
Yeah, well, I've never done it.
That's because front-wheel drive.
Yeah.
It doesn't go over... Front-wheel drive is not very good for drifting, for obvious reasons. You usually just stop, is what happens. You go for a turn, drift, or use a handbrake or whatever, stop. That's what you do, because all the power is in the front wheels, hence front-wheel drive. So you just stop.
Yeah.
What you want is to turn and put too much power into your ass because you've got rear wheel drive, and then so that the back comes out further than the front would. I don't know why I've just mansplained drifting to everyone.
Also,
I do apologize.
Please never put too much power into your ass.
I'm pretty sure everyone knows what drifting is, so I don't know why I just explained it like a...
Drift? What do you mean, drift?
Yeah, exactly. We watched an entire fucking movie about it. What? Sorry, everyone. Cars don't fly. There are a lot more guns in this one, I feel like.
Yep.
Lots of shooty, pow.
Yep.
Very few people got shot, though, which is strange. Did anyone get shot? I don't think anyone got shot.
Yeah, Kurt Russell gets shot.
Oh, yeah, he did, didn't he?
Along with many of his men. And many of the people that he shoots.
I forgot about that.
He was the only like main character, I think, that gets shot.
Yeah. Yeah. Jason Statham obviously has a car park full on him, but he's fine.
Well, of course.
Oh yeah, I suppose that scene probably wouldn't have been particularly great for you, Hannah, would it? Lots of flashing gun muzzle flashes. Thank you, in the dark. Thank you. You didn't do anything.
You're welcome.
I feel a scene we haven't touched upon.
There are many.
Well, yes, but a big scene we haven't touched upon, obviously entirely created after the fact that Paul Walker had died, is obviously the very, very end. We have this movie to blame for Charlie Puth.
Yes, I realised that. As the song started, I was like, oh, was that written for this?
Yes.
I was like,
Yes,
oh,
it
yeah,
was. So we have this movie to blame for Charlie Puth. So, he's all right.
I don't like that song.
Well,
I never liked that song.
it's fair enough. But it's very sad in context.
Oh, yeah, for sure. The whole sequence was very sad in context.
It was. I did like how they handled it, though. And it was the actors on the beach, really, as opposed to the characters. It was.
Oh, yeah. No, I like the way they handled it as well. And it was weird 'cause it was kind of fourth wall breaky and self-aware, but wasn't quite. I think it was handled the best they could. And, if any franchise is going to get away with doing it in that kind of way, it's something as ridiculous as Fast and Furious. If that had been in, like, anything else.
And also, even in this franchise, if that had been a sort of scene just because he was leaving or something, it would have been really weird. But it was the fact that obviously no one's going to critique this for being out of place or anything because given the context.
Yeah.
It was meant to just be a goodbye of sorts, and it was literally just him driving down a different road.
The whole thing, even just on the beach, of them sort of all of them having almost like they're all just having their little moment, just watching almost like a visage of him in a way. Is that a word? Visage.
Visage. I would say visage, but yeah.
So then, and they say then the sequence of them driving off, it's like, well, you think you're going to leave out saying goodbye, and obviously him just going off another direction. It was really nice. And then actually just like the
For Paul.
For Paul, as opposed to doing the normal thing with a black and white picture, and in memory of like, it was quite nice just to have it done in a slightly more stylized way.
Yep. No, I agree. That was the scene where everyone was just in the cinema, just gone. Crying their eyes out in the cinema, and it was quite funny because it was just men in the 20s and 30s. Really.
Charlie Puth is also that guy. If you're on TikTok, it's like, what if there was a song that went boom, 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 and then it had
about songs that he had written months in advance,
and then it had da 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 da. Oh, now there is boom, da 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 da. And it's,
do you know what's so stupid about the amount of those that he's done? He's released one of those songs. What a waste of everybody's time. Because also, he would have written them ages ago.
Yeah,
he's not genuinely coming up with this on the fucking spot.
Especially not by just going, what if there was a song that went da 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 da.
I grant you, he's a talented music producer. He's a very good music writer and just performer in general. He's not doing that. He's writing all of these songs for sure. He's not doing it on the spot on TikTok. Those TikToks would have taken him fucking years to make otherwise. It's not as quick. Like, technology doesn't allow you to just go, I have this idea, put it in. Doesn't fucking work like that. It takes ages. And then it will just crash and not save.
It'd be more like, what if there was a song that went da 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 fuck da.
I mean, he'll probably just play it in, but
no, that's not it. No, that's not it. No, that's not it.
And he doesn't do that. He's got perfect pitch, isn't it?
Oh no, sorry. It'd actually be, this version is not compatible with your current version.
Update required. What's the password?
I bought this yesterday.
2-factor authentication. Deary me. But yes, very sad. Very sad.
So where I think this film lacked compared to the other ones, I do think, as I say, I think it did suffer from the, not by its own fault, but it did suffer from the rewrites of having to deal with the Paul Walker situation a little bit, because you could kind of tell that writing him out was kind of like, we'll get this in.
Well, yeah,
We'll
they were
find a
halfway
way of-
through filming.
Yeah, exactly, and it is what it is. I did find the whole, like, for the most part, the whole, is that him? Quite jarring, because there were times where it was, like, clearly not him. And there's one scene in particular, and I thought it when I watched it, I was like, that looks particularly mocked up. Like, really looked like, and familiar at the same time. It's the scene when he's talking to Vin Diesel on the plane.
On the plane?
There's a scene that I think it's just after the bus thing. He's talking to just Vin Diesel on the plane about I can't remember what he's talking about.
Oh, yeah. I know what you mean.
All of Paul Walker's lines and shots is the sequence where he's talking to Vin Diesel about their dads in an earlier film.
Is it?
Yep, and they've literally just rotoscoped him out and mirror flipped it, and then just rotoscoped it, and then written the dialogue for Vin Diesel to take things that make sense of a different conversation.
See, from what I know of that conversation, that can't be right. But I'm not saying it isn't.
But I don't know. Obviously, I imagine it's not the entire original conversation, but everything that he says in it is cuts from that previous conversation.
Yeah, but he's saying, like, he misses the bullets. That can't have been from Fast 5.
I'm just going with what the thing was on the thing.
Well, you already know that's wrong. Oh, no, I was wrong earlier. My memory about me being wrong is so short term. I thought it was wrong. It was less than an hour ago.
Hang on.
It's probably right, but...
Plane conversation between Dom and Brian has every shot of Walker rotoscoped from the conversation with Dom about their fathers. Oh, from the same film. I only read half a thing. I apologise. Let me just read the whole thing. Some of Paul Walker's dialogue and footage was taken from previous Fast and Furious films. For example, Brian's conversation with Mia in the Dominican Republic garage is actually a deleted scene from Fast 5. Similarly, the plane conversation between Dom and Brian has every shot of Walker rotoscoped from the conversation with Dom about their fathers from the same film. So some of it is potentially deleted shots that weren't used in the actual film.
I see. Fair enough. Well, yeah, they're going to have to do stuff
No,
like
yeah,
this,
and it is
aren't
what
they?
it is.
In which case, there really isn't much with Paul Walker actually in it, is there?
No, I don't think there is at all.
Kind of makes it more impressive.
Because he's absent for there's just big bits where he's just kind of absent as well.
Yeah, I think one of the weirdest shots is that one. I know it's not quite like this, but there is a shot that's kind of like this. Obviously, she's not there. Mm-hmm. He's not there. But there's a shot of them just looking over LA. And he's just looking dead ahead, not really saying a word. He says something at the end. But, yeah, there's stuff like that.
And then, as I say, I do think the kind of... I do think The Rock being in it, I think, was not being in it as much was a disservice as well, just because...
Fair enough. I mean, to be fair, I'm so over The Rock.
Well,
I kind of disagree.
My biggest praise of these films have been like chemistry between characters, and because of Paul Walker wasn't able to be in it as much, it meant there wasn't as much of the chemistry stuff. And then the next person, I know The Rock and Vin Diesel don't get on, but I think the two of them together in these films have been good. Mm-hmm. They may not get on, but they seem to work well together. Mm-hmm. Also, there wasn't much of that either. Because the scene where he talks to him in the hospital at the beginning was good. It was a well put together scene. So that's the only worry. And you said this to me the other week, it's like, be interesting how I think of these films, like going past this point without Paul Walker being there. Because genuinely, so far, my favourite part of these films has been Paul Walker.
Yep.
Like, without a doubt. Mm-hmm. He was fantastic in these films. So it's kind of like, going forward, I can't wrap my head around what they're going to do.
Very similar stuff, he's just not there.
Yeah, but so what I mean is, like, I'm not sure how that's then going to click with me going forward.
No, that's fair
enough. We'll see next week, of course. And I'm looking forward to watching and finding out.
Indeed.
I felt that it was lacking a little bit in that sense. The last two were very, very, very good. And I don't know, I can't really put my finger about it, but there was just something about this one that I just didn't find grabbed me as much. Maybe it was just a kind of like, I'm sad about thing, maybe. But
yeah, that's fair enough. I think that the lack is a lot more present in this than it is going forward. Weirdly enough, considering he is actually in this movie. But I think it's because he's kind of in it. Mm-hmm. He's in it for some, like his character's there, but replaced by his brothers for most of it, really. So it kind of, you get an immediate direct comparison, whereas obviously the next two are written with intention. Obviously, he's not there.
Yeah.
So we shall see. We shall see. Personally, in actual fact, I think this should have been the last one.
To just end the franchise then?
Just less to do with quality of the movies, but more show some fucking respect. Like at this point, Paul Walker had done more of them than Vin Diesel had. It was more his franchise than Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel should have just
but then
shut up and left.
But then that may be the way you could look at. Because again, I saw a thing with Vin Diesel where he said that Fast 7 is for Paul, Fast 8 is from Paul. I know
that's just him just being showboaty nonsense.
But I'm wondering if it is a case of like, we'll keep doing these movies because Paul would have wanted us to keep doing these movies, sort of thing. We won't stop him because he wouldn't want us to have stopped them.
No, I imagine that's how he looks at it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But I'm also imagining that he looks at it from an amount of zeros perspective as well. If I was getting that many zeros, Admit One would continue in your absence. Providing I didn't have to come to your house to do it, that would be a bit odd. It'd be a bit strange and unfair, I think.
I mean, it depends. If you were the reason I was gone, then yeah, that'd be weird.
You mean I murdered you?
Yeah.
How is 8 from Paul winning? That's what I'm saying, showboaty nonsense.
What me that said it was Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel says a lot of nonsense.
Yeah, like, we are Groot.
He has said that a few times, yes.
No, he said that probably like once.
No, he actually did all the...
Yeah, probably the ultimate takes and different languages. And
he did all the different languages, or multiple of the different languages, and he did... each individual We Are Groot was intentional. So they did each individual We Are Groot.
No, We Are Groot is only once.
Sorry, I Am Groot. So there you go. He said We Are Groot as well, so that's more than one. Fuck you anyway. It still helps me prove my point. But yeah, at least that's what they say on the special features and stuff, is that he did all of the individual...
No, I know that. I was specifically talking about We Are Groot, not I Am Groot.
Yeah, fair. His lines must have been very easy to learn for guys. Yeah.
I like that. I like the idea of Vin Diesel, bearing in mind he has a script in front of him, because he's in a VO booth.
Line?
Yeah, line.
I am Groot. I am Greg. No!
Maybe that's how the thing is, like, I am Groot. It's like, We Are Groot. No, Vin. I am Groot. We are... Just put that in somewhere.
Shut up, the potato man. Get it in. It's fine. It's fine. But anyway.
Do you want to do the ranking?
Let's do the ranking. So far, at the number one spot, we don't need to, you can read. So the number one spot, Furious 6. The number 6 spot, Tokyo Drift. Where would you put this and how hard am I going to have to fight you?
I'm thinking about it. So the whole point is that, we have to try and convince each other. And then if we can't convince each other, we put it to an audience vote. I wouldn't put this first. I wasn't originally convinced to put Furious 6 first, but you convinced me. I would say second.
Second I can live with. For me, sentimentally, this is first. For me.
That I understand. That I do understand. I just don't think it was quite as good as 6. I think 6 was bigger and better in a lot of ways. Although I did say some bits, there were some elements of this I did say was better.
I agree, Tokyo Drift. Tokyo Drift deserves to be higher, but I lost that battle.
You were not here for that battle either, Toom, to back him up. So,
no, I lost that fight.
Yeah, at the same time, I did say that some of it is better than 6, like cinematography wise and stuff like that, and fight sequence wise and action sequence wise. I just didn't find the plot as compelling.
That's fair enough. Pros and cons. That's why you have to weigh it up in your mind. Sentimentally, this is above 6 for me. But I also really like 6. I think 6 is fucking great. So I would happily leave 6 at number 1.
Okay, so should we do that? 6 at number 1, 7 at number 2?
Yep. Sounds good to me. So at number 1, that leaves it with number 1 as Furious 6, number 2 as Furious 7, 3 being Fast 5, 4 being the Fast and the Furious, the first one, 5 being the fourth one. This is really confusing. 6th being the second one, and 7th being Tokyo Drift.
Indeed.
Next week, of course, we'll be back to watch The Fate of the Furious. So we're getting into stupid names now.
I'm all right with The Fate of the Furious.
Well, the F8 of the Furious.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
I think it actually just calls it Fast and Furious 8. But this is another one of the
that annoys me more. That annoys me more. Pick one and stick with it.
I agree. You could have gotten away with The Fate of the Furious. And number 9's even worse. F9, the Fast Saga.
Oh.
The Infinity Saga has broken everyone. Since then, they've started calling everything Saga. We've suddenly gotten the Skywalker Saga from Star Wars. Mm-hmm. F9, the Fast Saga. But again, just Fast and Furious 9. They won't even fucking pick a name.
Not sure how I feel about that.
It's like any of the Marvel movies just changing their names all the time. Like... on the posters and everything, it says Shang-Chi, but at the end of the trailers, it's called like Kung Fu Magoo or something. Like, pick a name.
I would absolutely watch a Marvel film called Kung Fu Magoo.
I would watch any movie called Kung Fu Magoo. But,
we should make it.
I do not know.
We'll put Jackie Chan in it. He's probably in need for work. He hasn't done anything in a while.
He's still probably out of our budget, I'm afraid.
And it would get us about 3,000 views on YouTube.
3.6.
3.6.
Oh, that's 3.59 thousand more views than most of our other stuff gets, so I'm all in. This has been Admit One, your movie and TV podcast right here on Rabbit Hole Media. If you like what you're doing is watching us, you can follow us on Twitter at Rabbit Hole.
Where can they follow us?
On Twitter at rabbithole_UK. You can subscribe to us on YouTube where you can see us anytime that you wish. You can follow us on Twitch at Rabbit Hole Media, and you can join the chaos and carnage that is our conversation over on the Discord.
Indeed.
And now you can follow us on Instagram at rabbithole_media_UK and on TikTok at Rabbit Hole Media for all the behind the scenes tits and bits. If you'd like to support us, head to merch.rabbitholemedia.co.uk for a wide range of merchandise that will only get wider. None of us are wearing any today. And finally, if you're watching us live on Twitch and are an Amazon Prime member, you get 1 free Twitch Prime membership a month. Please find it within your hearts to give that membership to us. It doesn't cost you a penny, but it goes a very long way in helping us bring you the shows that you love.
Yes.
Coming up on the channel.
Let's get this right this week.
Thursday, we will be doing a review discussion press start special for Horizon Forbidden West. So come and join for that. See the game in action and see what we think. On Sunday, we'll be back to talk about The Dark Knight on Admit One, but also immediately followed by Press Start, our weekly gaming podcast. And then, of course, next Tuesday, we'll be back once again to talk about The Fate of the Furious.
I'm looking forward to Thursday's Horizon stream.
Yes.
Because we can talk about Horizon.
And you get to play some
And
more.
we get to play some Horizon.
Mm-hmm.
And normally when we're doing those kind of things, like, we'll just be like free roaming around and stuff. It's good. Just going to, I assume we'll be using my copy because my PlayStation's here.
Indeed. And I'm ahead of you.
But basically, we'll just be clearing up the map for me a little bit, and it's good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, we won't do any story stuff.
No, absolutely not. No.
Spoilers and ting.
But I would just say, just clearing off the map. Go and do a couple of side missions, go and fight some machines, do some camps.
Indeed. Yeah. Yeah, we'll use yours because I'm ahead of you, so there's a higher chance of you getting spoiled. 100% certain we're going to turn up to watch Saturday night. No, it's Sunday. Blame this guy. He's busy. Well, it's not going to be me busy, is it? Let's be real. Let's be
I
honest.
am busy, but I'm also being taken out for a meal as part of being busy, which is good.
I do like meals.
I do have a story about that. So we're going out for the day with Camilla and her parents, so the in-laws, and there was talk about
Batman is Sunday, Hannah, yes.
we'll be getting food at some point, and Camilla was like, yeah, we'll have to make sure we got some money for food, and I went, no, we're going with your mum and dad. Guarantee you will not need to be paying for dinner. And she was like, no, I'm pretty sure we're supposed to be splitting it. I was like, we might be supposed to be splitting it, but I can guarantee you, when it gets to it, and we've had our food, and it gets to paying the bill, your dad will be like, no, I'll get it. And we'll be trying to pay our bit, and he'll be like, no, I'll get it. And then we'll just end up buying a bottle of wine or something like that. And she was like, well, we shouldn't assume that. We should assume that we're going to be paying. So I was like, no, I'm assuming your dad's going to make himself, is going to pay for it. That's what I'm assuming. And then yesterday, Camilla phoned me. So I've spoken to my dad, and he's paying for the food, and we're buying a bottle of wine. I was like, fucking called it.
Excellent.
That was my story.
What's better than free food? What's better than free food?
Nothing.
Exactly. I don't know why that was so fucking difficult.
You said it in a way as if it was setting up a punchline for a joke.
Well, no, I didn't. You just didn't hear me, so I spoke to you like a deaf idiot.
Wow.
So that you could hear me.
Wow.
That's what made it sound like a joke.
Wow.
Me repeating myself. Anyway, thanks very much for...
Hannah's just said there, we should be here. It's my mum's birthday, 70th, and not sure if we'll be back. Just she can watch. She's welcome. Set her up an account.
With her card details. Subscribe.
Yep. As a birthday present.
Exactly. What's better than these guys? Talking about a man with mental issues in a
Charlie's
cape.
here this week as well.
That is the man with mental issues in a cape that I was referring to.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
You just reminded me.
And until next time, we shall see you then.